One America's chief White House correspondent, Daniel Baldwin, is live from the White House. So, Daniel, the White House is encouraged with this report. What is their message?
Alicia, the message is that inflation is staying right on target, which is not a bad thing. It's certainly a good thing, and they believe that this showcases that President Trump has finally gotten that red-hot inflation from the Biden era under control. It's no longer running rampant, and President Trump has control over the entire situation. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt put out a statement earlier on X, and I want to read it. Quote, every single month since President Trump took office, core inflation, the best measure of inflation, has beaten or matched expectations. The data proves that President Trump is stabilizing inflation, and the panicans continue to be wrong about tariffs raising prices. Now, what she's referring to is core inflation, core consumer price index, and that printed cooler than expected. It was up by 0.2% from the prior month and 2.9% from a year ago, which both of those numbers beat industry expectations. And core CPI, it excludes the more volatile measurements of gasoline and food. Now, what the press secretary was referring to was that before President Trump took office, there was a lot of outcry about ultimately what his tariff and trade policies would do to the inflation, which was the number one issue of the 2024 election. And I want to call back to an article in a letter, actually more accurately put, from 16 Nobel Award-winning economists back in late June, Alicia, a little bit more than a year from now. They wrote a letter basically arguing that the president's tariff-driven economic plan would create red-hot inflation. That has proven to be dead wrong, at least a year from now at this point in time. It's quite the contrary. As the press secretary noted, the president's beaten back inflation on the majority of his time in office. In every single economic report, core inflation has been cooler than industry expectation. The president celebrated this news on Truth Social, writing, quote, "The Fed should cut rates by 3 points. Very low inflation, $1 trillion a year would be saved." And it feels as though we get this message from the president on Fed Chair Jerome Powell every single day. He spoke about this yesterday at the White House Faith Luncheon. Why don't we take a listen?
The economy is roaring, business confidence is soaring, incomes are up, prices are down, and inflation is dead. It's dead. We have a bad Fed chairman, really bad. If he would lower the rates, and I tried being nice to the guy, it doesn't help. He's like a knucklehead. No, he's a knucklehead. A stupid guy. He really is.
The president believes that cutting rates at the Fed is the final puzzle piece, Alicia, to make sure that this economy takes off, in his own words, like a rocket ship in the next year. Alicia.
Well, the president is headed to the Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit today. The summit features big-time business leaders. Also, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Energy Secretary Chris Wright, and many others will be there. What's the significance of the president's going to this event today?
Well, Senator Dave McCormick said that this summit will unveil $90 billion of investments that will be announced at this specific summit. And those are to build data centers, energy and power infrastructure, and workforce and AI training projects. And some of these companies are like Blackstone, which announced a $25 billion investment in data center and energy infrastructure development in Northeast Pennsylvania. This is expected to create 6,000 new construction jobs, along with 3,000 new permanent jobs. But the bottom line is, the Keystone State delivered President Trump the White House, and now President Trump, along with the help of Senator Dave McCormick, is delivering jobs to the Keystone State. Why don't we take a listen to Senator Dave McCormick preview the president's trip a little bit earlier from this morning.
This summit is about catalyzing, among other things, $90 billion of investment and tens of thousands of jobs in Pennsylvania. Let me repeat that. Today we're going to announce $90 billion of investment and tens of thousands of jobs in Pennsylvania.
You talked about some of the star-studded guest list, Alicia. Attendees include over 60 CEOs from leaders in energy, AI, labor, and the world's largest sources of capital. Some of them include Larry Fink of BlackRock, Alex Karp of Palantir, Darren Woods of ExxonMobil, Mike Wirth of Chevron. And I referenced that investment from Blackstone a little bit earlier. We're not just seeing investments here at this summit. But the president is also scoring major investments on the AI front outside of Pennsylvania here today. Apple, it announced, is expected to announce a $500 million commitment to MP Materials. That's the only rare earth mine currently operating in the United States. And we spoke to the CEO of the new one that's opening up in the United States yesterday as well. And it sort of highlights the fact that the United States is putting this major focus on not only decoupling from China and the rare earths, but also obtaining these private sector data center investments here in the United States. And this summit is definitely Exhibit A on that front, Alicia.
All right, One America's chief White House correspondent Daniel Baldwin live from the North Lawn. Thank you for that report.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.